Welcome to the Heartbreak Hub. Welcome to the Heartbreak Hub. Welcome to the Heartbreak Hub.
What? That one individual, a friend, a brother, or whoever. And how do they help you go through the process? Because obviously you're going to go through the process by yourself, but there's always going to be that one person you were like, you know what, the relationship has been cooked, we're done, and it's difficult for me. So who was that person?
My therapist, actually, because I have such trust issues and I had learned from previous relationships.
You went for therapy
I went for therapy. That's how bad it was.
in Zimbabwe. She went for therapy, guys. Now let me ask the financial question, because how much was it per session? And how many sessions did you get in Zimbabwe? Therapy. I wish I was you. I never went for therapy after my countless heartbreaks.
You know what? I was blessed enough to have an amazing therapist who could help me progress so that we're not stalling and spending however much per hour.
In
But I
Zimbabwe,
went
people
for
are going
therapy.
for therapy, guys. I thought it was some.
Depression is real.
I understand depression is real.
Uh-huh.
I understand therapy is good, but it's not something that you picture happening in Zimbabwe. You get? I know people go for therapy, but maybe couple therapy, heartbreak therapy
Yes,
in
heartbreak
Zimbabwe.
therapy.
Alrighty, welcome to yet another episode. It's Sia, the love technician, and today we have the other gender. Anyways, care to introduce yourself?
Hi everyone, I'm Jay. I work in the agribusiness sector. I think that's about everything I'll share.
Okay, that's very short and very precise. But anyways, as you know, here we're going to be, discussing what happened to you, etc, etc. But before that, before you jump into that story, care to take us through, a background story of the relationship, how you met, etc, etc, before you dive into what really transpired in your relationship.
Okay, so it played out over a space of time, so I'll try to give the important timestamps. How we met. So there was a group discussion, and it was just random individuals. Well, we were connected through mutuals, and then he kept inquiring a lot about the event, the main one we were planning for. You know, when you're trying to get the event out of the group chat, and then come the day, I was slightly late, not too late, but slightly, because I was chilling with someone else at the time, and then I was going to join the group afterwards. So I was just like killing many birds with one stone.
Wow.
Then when I got to the group setting, and I won't forget this, he said, I don't want to say it exactly because people will know who I'm referring to, so I'll
Wow.
paraphrase it.
It's fine.
He said, thank you for finally joining the group, even though you didn't respect everyone else's time. Then I was triggered, unfortunately. Maybe it was trigger day, who knows? But the feisty in me wasn't having it. And then I decided to have a few clapbacks of my own.
Wow.
But they were polite and productive and meaningful. And no one intervened whilst we were going back and forth. So that's my first time meeting him. We went on with that discussion, the group event, and back and forth snide remarks. You know how it goes.
Mm-hmm.
Then afterwards, the main coordinator came up to me and was like, "You do know he was flirting with you, right?" And then I dismissed it because I was like, "No, he was just triggering and singling me out." And then come later on, future events, I needed a ride back home. We happened to stay in a similar part of town, not too far from each other.
Okay.
Then he offered me a ride, which I unwillingly.
What do you mean
agreed to.
unwillingly?
It was late. I had no other choice but to go with.
Did you want to?
I don't know about that, but
What do you mean you don't know about that? But anyways, it's
It's
fine.
a tricky question. And then, so he took me home. Later on in the evening, he messaged me. He said, I heard you arrived home safely. Then I messaged, hello, I'll please thank the chauffeur. Then he said, you can thank him yourself in person over drinks on Friday.
This guy is top tier. But it's
Then,
fine.
then I replied, I'll check my busy schedule because, I have a life.
Was it busy or you're just trying? You're playing hard to get.
I have a life. But I am free after 6 p.m. Please factor in my 3 hour preparation time since I'm using a sundial because that was something he had said to me about my lateness. Then he said, I know 3 places that will cater to your sundial. Then he listed them. Then I was like, all three. Then he said, you can pick whichever one.
This guy was very, very, very particular. And you're also particular because you remembering all these things.
Maybe I reread it yesterday. Who knows?
Wow.
Kidding.
We never
Kidding.
know.
So that was how I met him or how we began to interact. So, the messages, the hangouts, private ones, they're not dates if you're not together, right? You're just
Yes.
hanging out. So we would hang out and time allowed for progression.
Was he your type?
In most cases, he was my type.
What you mean in most cases?
In most aspects.
Okay.
In most aspects.
So we're saying 7 out of 10 he was your type.
8 out of 10.
Wow, he was your type. So what transpired? How'd you get into the relationship and then how did it end? Or what happened? What was the how can I put it? What triggered the whole thing to end? Because by you just saying what you're saying, it feels like you really were into the guy like that.
I met him at a time when I was ready to be investing in that aspect of my life. So,
Ah, the other gender. It's fine. You can go on.
okay, what caused the relationship to end? Okay, so let me get to how he asked me out, and I think you can figure out the trajectory. So, I remember we were in his car, in a car,
Okay, in a car.
in a car, and we were just discussing different couples, like celeb couples and the images they portray. Then I remember we got to a particular couple, and then he just said, "Let's be that couple." And it went over my head for a bit.
Which couple was this?
Hey, we're not name dropping, even celebs. And then it clicked later on as I was talking that that's what he's going at. Then I was like, okay, let's. Then later on, he said something along the lines of, I never thought I would be the guy who pursues a chick for this long. Well, yeah, the time frame that we were
How did that
seeing each
make you
other.
feel though?
I questioned many things because I wasn't flattered at all. I wasn't though.
In
So
total, be putting effort and she's not flattered.
I wasn't flattered because I was thinking, are you saying I was intentionally like I was overthinking it? Like, are you saying I'm intentionally playing hard to get, or you just wanted to reach the end goal?
Okay. Yeah. You guys go through a lot.
Me
Person is
too.
putting effort and you're overthinking what if. But yeah, after you picking out and singling out that particular celebrity relationship, did it pan out to be like that?
It actually did because I think what we were going for wasn't too far naturally from what that couple portrayed. And I did enjoy how it flowed.
Hmm.
Hmm.
What is the best part about that relationship?
Um, okay, let me not bring that part up.
I feel like you should. Because it feels like that's the most important part of that relationship.
The best part, I
Yes.
enjoyed the side to me it brought out.
Which side was that?
The super polished, super particular, super. I don't want to say playing wife, but you know that dynamic you start to have with your person when you're official.
Yes, playing wife. That one.
No,
That's the
not yet.
one. Playing wife. You were playing wife.
No, I was.
And it made you feel good.
Fair enough.
So, care to dive into what happened? What transpired? Because from the way that you're just saying things, from the way you're smiling, from the way you're just
I
airing out all
naturally
these things,
smile.
it feels like you really enjoyed it. So, what brought it to an end? Can you take us through the heartbreak part of
Oh,
this relationship?
okay, so we were having a hot talk, as a couple trying to progress our DMC. And then, when you start realizing your core values don't align at all. But then it was, you liked the thrill and every other aspect of the relationship, but come to the substance. You're trying to make it happen, but it's not happening.
Whose values were not being met here? Yours or his? Or both?
I was young and had a different view of how things should play out. So essentially, I would say my values weren't
Went met.
aligning.
Care to jump into the values not being met, because at the end of the day we want to get to the core foundation of what really transpired, because maybe you guys broke up and messed up something that was supposed to be amazing.
Thank you for such comforting words. So at the time, when you're young, it's so easy to want to jump out of commitment or something that demands maturity from you. So I feel at the time I was quick to want to leave if it wasn't meeting what I would have preferred. So essentially, I was throwing a tantrum, I think.
We want to get into the nitty gritties. This is
Yes,
why we're here, because
words.
you know what, everyone who's tuned in wants to know what really transpired. Like, you just don't wake up and say, my the core
No,
values are not being met, and then you just throw a tantrum. It doesn't work like that.
it's over time. Remember, I've just given you.
We want to know what happened over the time.
Right. So over the time, it's, can we take the relationship further when you're having those discussions? And then now, young Teppy or young Jay is thinking, no, I need to achieve XYZ first before reaching that milestone. And him being an older male is saying we can still achieve those, but we can do it together. Whereas the independent side of me is not quite in agreement.
What was the age difference there? So that maybe we can, make it make sense for the viewers. And, well, not just for the viewers, even for me. Because I also need to understand, like, what was the age difference? Because most people are looking for what you pushed away. I'm just saying.
Thank you so much. All right, so we had a 5 year age gap.
Five, 5 year age gap. How old were you when this happened?
Mid 20s.
Mid 20s, which means you was in his 30s.
Yeah.
So you just decided to end it because of that.
Remember, it's always a build up of things.
We want to know the build up. We want to know who woke up and then said, you know what? You because you're older than me, you're trying to get advantage of me, etc, etc. Or it was him saying, you know what? You don't know what you want, so I'm leaving.
The latter was closer to what transpired. He was more of the, this is a yes or no, you need to know what you want, because he's more established in life. And I was more the, I'm still seeing life, feeling tied down or forced to settle down.
You don't want to go there, but I want to go there. What's one incident
Yeah.
that triggered the end of the relationship? And what was your contribution to the relationship ending?
That's a good one. So one incident was
Yeah, you're not smiling as much. It's either you or him.
okay. So he lived in a different place
That's
from
in town
town
or Ish.
from you. So one of them was, will you leave your job to come to my site?
And what did you say? Just asking, but we both know what you said. But did in the now, do you feel like you could have?
And then now I see why most couples would then do that. It's easier for the female to leave, well, to resettle or reestablish herself in his domain.
Let's say it happened today. Would you still make that call? Say no, I'm not moving.
Now I would definitely make the moving call. Like, now I know better.
Unfortunately, so there's all these things happening in your life, and you guys were still together. When then did you decide to say, well, you know what, we've been through all this, this is to end? Or he woke up and was like, you know what, you're wasting my time, etc. But what then happened for you to say, well, this is arguably the heartbreak that I want to talk about, the one that changed my life, if we can put it into perspective like that?
So he said, naturally, that I was now wasting his time and efforts and resources and wasn't as serious about the relationship as he would have preferred me to be.
I heard resources. What resources were you wasting? Because a relationship is, especially when you're looking at the age gap, the considerations. There was a lot of things to like. What's that one thing that you can say? Well, he always did A, B, C, D for me, and when the relationship ended, I sort of missed that part of him.
Well, we both invested time, so I always missed that aspect. He was a very busy person career wise, but he always made time for me or for us, which is something I later on appreciated.
So what really broke your heart after the relationship ended?
Being coming to terms with how I wanted to hold on to a fantasy of how my life would play out instead of investing in the reality. That's what broke my heart.
What was the fantasy?
The fantasy was the you're with this person, you're living your life, achieving all these things, whilst they're there with you and living their life. And then you come together, you build your empire together, but you're not coming from emptiness. Almost like you're both bringing something to the table. I was one of those then. And then that wasn't quite how life was presenting it.
And then on the reality end of things, what would you say this was reality?
Reality was more he already had an empire. He preferred a partner who would manage it.
And you weren't ready for the management role, if that's what you're saying.
I was far I was far from it in my head. I think that was imposter syndrome. Now that I'm older, I realize
You wanted to own everything.
I wanted to own my stuff
Uh,
so that no one holds it over me. Say, those moments when there's
and
friction.
then this is what I always tell people that engage with me when it comes down to, this is what do you bring to the table conversation. It's not about what you bring to the table, it's about how you build the table up.
Yes.
Because the table can be, if you bring the table, you're saying, no, you know what? You put something on the table. I brought the table. So now it's about, putting the table there together and then saying, well, you know what? I've got A and B, you bring C and D, and then we can, build up from there together. But I feel like in the moment you were living in your fantasy, and as much as your fantasy was something that you were fantasizing, he was just not viewing it like that.
No, and it makes sense. He's a mature
So you're
individual.
accepting that you're immature.
I acknowledge that at that moment,
So
maybe what was done was not of full maturity.
okay. So on a daily basis, how did this affect you? Like after the relationship it ended, right? What was one thing that you would say, Kuti, on a daily basis it affected you after the actually how long did you date, or how long were you in this relationship for?
For about 3 years.
Guys, what's with people in 3 years?
What are you
So it
doing? Short, I see, yeah.
and ish, 3 years. Yeah. So what affected you on a daily when it came down to the relationship ending?
Well, we were one of those couples that actually spent almost every day together. So you can imagine how much of my routine or my day was affected. So that quality time's gone. And the chemical reactions, the love hormones, everything is just coming from the high to nothing. Well, no stimulus or whatever. So that was hard. What was affected was because I was at work, I could get through the day, but come home in that hour where you're used to then interacting with this person, they're not there anymore. You don't even have the strength to call or text because you're just going to reach the same endpoint. And if the phone rings, you can't even pick up because now you feel bad. It was always that cycle.
Who ended it?
We both did.
I know it does not work like that. There's a yes
It's
and a
just
no.
okay. So let me tell you the conversation, then you can decide. Yeah.
Yes, no, it's fine.
Okay. So he said, um, basically, it was the where do we go from here? And then my answer was we end it. His answer was
Ladies and gentlemen, we have a conclusion.
his answer was either we try make it work or we end it.
The fact that he brought the factor of trying to work it out, he didn't end it because you only gave him one option, which means you felt like it needed to end.
Avoidance.
So, in short, you ended it.
We both attended.
No.
Because he could have tried to
Well,
persuade me.
let's leave it for
Okay.
let's leave it for the
For
audience to
the
decide who ended it then. Because well, at least you, from a personal perspective, you gave him one option and he gave you two. He gave you a yes and a no. You
At
gave
that
him a no.
moment, I don't see it that way.
And today, how do you see it?
Like it's as clear as day.
Oh, you just don't want to say.
I just may not say it.
Wow, it's fine. You guys decide who ended the relationship, and yeah. So how did you, like you were saying, what was going on? The daily was no longer there. So how did you fill in the gap? From a guy's perspective, there's that time after you guys are done cooking, doing the dishes, yada yada. That time, that quality time. Since you were saying that most of your day was occupied with work, how did you fill in that gap? That gap where you were saying, "This is our time." Now it was just you
You
time.
say- So I took to music a lot. That's when you really realize how all the genres and different types help. So I had my empowerment music, the I don't need him, the
Did you not need him?
wait, hey, you need to feel the momentum. Come now. And your Miss Independent anthems. That's they had their 5 minutes of play. Then we move on to the I Will Love Again music.
So sad.
Then the I'm So Over You
Yo.
music. Trying to convince yourself. And then there was the I Miss You playlist. So different playlists for different modes.
Yeah.
Then extra self care because it's so easy to plummet when you're depressed. Because obviously your self esteem actually does come tumbling down, which was something I never expected. Like it went from here to
Yeah, because 3 years is a long time. Obviously, you were basing a lot of things on the relationship. Your daily routine was based on that. How you felt was based on that. So, who helped you? What that one individual, a friend, a brother, or whoever, and how did they help you go through the process? Because obviously, you're going to go through the process by yourself, but there's always going to be that one person. You were like, you know what, the relationship has been cooked. We're done, and it's difficult for me. So, who was that person?
my therapist, actually, because I have such trust issues. And I had learned from previous relationships.
You went for therapy
I went for therapy. That's how bad it was.
in Zimbabwe. She went for therapy, guys. Now let me ask the financial question because how much was it per session? And how many sessions did you get
I
in
was,
Zimbabwe? Therapy. I wish I was you. I never went for therapy after my countless heartbreaks.
you know what? I was blessed enough to have an amazing therapist who could help me progress so that we're not stalling and spending however much per hour.
In
But I
Zimbabwe,
went
people
for
are going
therapy.
for therapy, guys. I thought it was some.
Depression is real.
I understand depression is real. I understand therapy is good, but it's not something that you picture happening in Zimbabwe. You get? I know people go for therapy, but maybe couple therapy, heartbreak therapy
Yes,
in
heartbreak
Zimbabwe.
therapy.
But how much are we paying per session? I think I might need it though.
You're fine. You're
And you
fine.
never know.
You're
It's been a
fine.
difficult. It's been
Trust.
a difficult week.
It's for
You never
those
know.
you can tell people in heartbreak zombie mode. You're fine.
Okay.
Yeah, so that really helped because they helped um, s- distinguish between what was in my head as a coping mechanism and reality. So they basically helped ground me.
Okay.
And then they taught me this very important concept that if you loved that person or if that person loved you, your story would be different.
Yo. Can you say that again?
If you really loved the person or if they truly loved you, your story would be different.
Different how?
You wouldn't have this therapy session for start. You wouldn't be depressed, you wouldn't be heartbroken because you never intentionally harm something you love.
And then it contradicts to these things that we hear every day. If you love something, hey, set it free. What? You were in love. You set each other free from your point of view. So now it just doesn't make sense for well, they're professionals. So
Yeah. They
I'm
know.
just saying. No, they think they know.
Oh
They
gosh.
think they know. You just can't get into someone's head and then decide that it was your story would have been different just because you loved them. From a personal perspective, it doesn't make
Because
sense, but it worked for
yeah.
you.
Remember they've already peeled
Plus, you know what? When
every
you pay
other
someone, they'll tell you what you want to hear. They'll tell you what you want to hear. You pay them.
they've already peeled off all the other layers so they can deduce.
Okay. But how was therapy though? Like, actually,
It
now I feel
was
like jumping into the therapy segment because now I've never been to therapy. Actually, Zim.
it
Yeah.
was it was the best. I actually recommend if you're serious, but if you also know it's not going to do much for you, don't waste the therapist's time as well.
Oh, you can also waste their
You
time,
can also waste
but
their
it's my
time.
money at the end of
Yeah,
it.
it's funny, but they could be tending to someone who's actually needing a proper session.
Okay. So, what's one thing that you learned from this relationship that you're
Oh.
applying in a daily?
One other thing on who helped me along the way.
Yeah.
That's when I also realized your male acquaintances are not your friends.
Ah,
If you're female, most of the time, they really are not your friends like that. Because, funny enough, there were those who thought post breakup you is the perfect time for them to shoot their shot.
But was it wrong timing though? Because obviously, no, this is just me asking on a genuine.
Okay.
Did you not date someone?
No, I needed healing, not another relationship.
But maybe that person was going to be the one that was going to bring healing to your
No,
life.
I'm bleeding out from the previous one. I am healing from that one. There's no way I'm going to look at them like a perfect specimen.
Also, now you hated every male.
I became very skeptical of
No,
who was
let's be
within my
straight up. Let's be
circle.
straight shooters here and say, in short, you're saying even the people that were just generally in your life, but were of the other gender, you just hated them.
No, I just questioned motives because of what had transpired.
You were insecure.
Whatever.
No, I'm asking. I'm asking. It's a yes or no question.
No.
Because it's okay to be insecure
About what?
about men. You were coming from a difficult spell,
Uh-huh.
and now you're in a space where you're saying every man is like this.
I didn't say every man. I just said most of the time.
What if you missed out on your husband in that particular
The
period?
husband that comes when you're heartbroken.
Did they know?
Well, everyone kind of who knew me knew we had ended things.
And then as a guy, I'll say that was the perfect time.
How is that
Why?
perfect?
You needed someone who genuinely cared. And if that person presented themselves in that moment, they knew they could cater for what had been, put out in the space.
Or they were genuinely looking at the vulnerable chick who will not say no.
You missed out on a good thing. Trust me, you missed
Whatever.
out on a good thing because you never know.
If they were genuine, then post healing time they could have come.
But they couldn't. You pushed them away when you needed someone the most.
I didn't need
The
someone. I
best time,
needed.
the best time to accept someone
needed my
is when you
therapist.
need someone in your life.
I needed my therapist. I needed healing.
You were in love with your therapist.
Whatever.
Hopefully, your therapist was not male, because now I'm beginning to question why someone would just push out people who are genuinely
You
there.
actually think they were being genuine?
It comes down to you knowing them.
Yes, like I said, because of how I know them, I know they're very opportunistic people, some of them.
Some of them, which means you accepting the fact that you might have missed out on a good person.
No, I am accepting the fact that not everyone has good intentions.
So out of the, let's just say 5,
Okay.
maybe one had pure intentions, but they just suffered because you thought otherwise.
There is a likelihood of that statistic.
I'm sorry, you missed out on a good one.
Whatever.
A person who's willing to say, let me be there for you when you're in a difficult spell, especially when someone else has hurt you.
Now, a person who's saying, be my romantic partner after a difficult spell is not coming because they mean you well.
You never know because you never experienced it.
Oh.
Yes. But has your perspective on love changed over the years, especially after that 3-year spell and the way it ended, the opportunists from your perspective, the has it changed or you've learned something positive or something negative about relationships? Like how did that relationship change your perspective on love?
Well, it taught me that love needs investment and proper investment. Now that I think about it, there were some things or aspects I could have invested better in, and then certain aspects I could have done less with the theatrics in.
Or you're accepting the theatrics,
They were theatrics. Now I can laugh about it now.
which,
And
which is a good thing.
yeah. But at the same time, I acknowledge that sometimes, your brain can forget traumatic moments or things that bring pain. So I can glamorize the past, forgetting how we led to that situation.
And it's something about core values, what there. As as of now, after that, what do you find being the foundation and the base of what you would term a relationship?
Oh, that's a deep one.
Because you know what? I single or taken. Either now.
You can DM me and I'll tell you.
You know what? The audience wants to know. You
Yes,
never know.
you can DM me
Oh,
and I'll tell
yes,
you.
you're single.
You can DM me and I'll tell you.
Or you're single when you're on a live and you're taken on your when you're on WhatsApp. We never know. But what are those, that co-foundation after that relationship? I just say, if I'm to build a relationship, I'm building it on this base and I'm accepting this and I'm not accepting that.
Okay, so just to name a few things, I know for myself, religious beliefs are my go-to core value. I'm not saying he has to be like, mm, I was gonna say the emoji title, but no shade there. But just similar religious beliefs that would help. Then what I'm not accepting is non-religious beliefs.
Obviously, if you
Okay.
picked the religious, you are not going to accept. Tell us that one that you thought about.
What I wouldn't accept now is definitely low commitment if we are now exclusive.
If we are now exclusive, so there's unexclusive relationships.
Oh my goodness, why are you taking it there?
No, I'm just asking because now you know what, it's for me that was new, so I just had to question it because how is there an unexclusive relationship and an exclusive one?
Isn't exclusivities when you're officially together?
So you can be unofficially together,
Yes.
guys. Like how are you doing this relationship stuff now? Because you know what, it's exclusive is we're together.
Yes.
There's no unexclusive together and exclusive together. I feel like it's not like that. So it's either someone is playing with someone's time or otherwise.
Yes, and that's when you find out as time progresses.
Yo, what are you seeing out there? But who am I to question this?
Love technician.
But yeah, so I understand, we have different ways of pointing out what love is and all these things, exclusivity and non-exclusive relationships. This one is new. I am yet to dive into that. But what advice would you give to someone who's, uh, going through a difficult time or who's going through a heartbreak and feels that they want to love again?
First things first, you need to heal the broken heart. And most times it's tempting to want to blame the next person and not self assess, which is understandable within that moment. But give yourself time to check yourself and have the right support system. And be careful who you tell as well, because not everyone does have good intentions. We'll get to that again.
And here I thought she was going to say, go see a therapist. It worked for you. That was
It's
supposed
not
to be
for
the first
everyone.
advice.
Yes, go for therapy.
But yeah, it's a difficult spell on its own. Like I always say, love is a beautiful thing until it's not. Now she has these exclusive relationships and unexclusive relationships. I'm just saying, these are your words, not mine.
Uh-huh.
But is there anything you wish people understood about heartbreaks that they don't genuinely understand in the now?
That they differ from individual to individual. What could have triggered your pain might not necessarily hurt the next person. And the next person really won't suffer, or their life shouldn't end because you're unhappy with you guys not being together. They are allowed to continue living their life, and you're allowed to continue with yours instead of wishing them ill or stalking them, which is what some people tend to do. Take care of yourself, because most of the
I
time,
now have a question. The stalking part. Where you stalking?
never. My pride will never let me.
I guess you never know. Before we jump into my favorite segment,
Uh,
the hot chick segment. Eh, what's one, message that you want to leave for viewers that are going through, that difficult spell, or those that are in a relationship that's fully functional and is working? What would you want to share with them and have them, understand?
I would say learn to balance your relationship along with life outside of the relationship. Have an identity within the relationship, but continue to have lives. Because it's very easy to start pouting when, let's say, the your partner has to go make family time or they have other commitments, and you're thinking it's taking away from your time together. But learn to balance and understand life outside of it.
Advice. Ah, you know, I don't usually give people advice, but you heard it from the other gender, gentlemen. Make sure you DM her so that you know if she's, officially in a relationship or unofficially in a relationship.
Exclusive or
Yeah.
unexclusive? Inexclusive.
So yeah, I listened to some of his suggestions on the hot chick segment, and this one is going to be sort of different because people are like, you know what, we want to know more, but if it's a yes or no thing, it then becomes difficult for us to know. So yeah, welcome to the hot chick segment.
Gosh.
We just need straight answers.
Can I
No,
pass on a question?
no,
Okay.
it's just five of the best. If the CEO of this establishment decides to have us ask one more question, that one is on him. But anyways, the first one is, what's the biggest amount of money your ex ever spent on you, and what was it for? What's the biggest amount of money your ex ever spent on you, and what was it for?
Come on, we're trying to sort out our life. Why are you blasting us like that? Okay, can we come back to this one? I will answer it, but can we come back to it?
Yeah, this one I think we'll save it for
Yeah.
last. What's the most expensive gift you've ever bought for an ex, and do you regret it? What's the most expensive gift you ever bought for an ex, and do you regret it?
It was those office sets where it's the watch, the pen holder, the calligraphy pen, the Parker pen set, cufflinks, and a watch. I'm not gonna give the price tag there.
We might as well know.
Yeah.
But
Do I regret it?
do you regret it?
No, because I know every time he sees each one of those items, my memory pops up.
It's
It's
fine. Uh, yeah, it's very funny. But hey, these questions. Have you ever stayed in a relationship longer because of the financial benefits or lifestyle it gave you?
no, I'm not that type of person. If that were the case, I wouldn't be working. Now would I?
That was question number three, right?
I think so.
If your ex ever called you today asking to borrow money, would you send it, and why?
So if my ex
Yes.
asked me for money,
Yes.
would I send him?
Yes.
Is he not a capable, grown working man of financial stability?
Let's put some context into this
Okay,
one
yes.
and say he genuinely needs it for something, that is urgent, and the first person that he thought of was you. Would you still give it to him or not? Mind you, he's borrowing. If yes, why? If no, why?
My mind, my overthinking self, the one that was pursued for a long time, will start asking, why am I the first person to pop up? Because that's hinting at something. which it's giving vibes of someone's looking at you and thinking you are already liquid enough for whatever emergency they have, which is questionable. So I would say no.
Yeah, well, for my point, it's valid. I don't know about you guys, but if you feel that is not valid, please make sure you comment. Well, let's get this one from the CEO. CEO, do you want to add a question or not? Well, the CEO said, he's good for today, but it's fine. Definitely, we need figures for therapy. That's very true. So now we're getting down to the question that you said we'd pause and come back to. What's the biggest amount of money your ex ever spent on you, and what was it for? You know it. You're just trying to think of a way to put it out there. It's fine. You can say it. This is a safe space. It's very safe.
What if they never spend money?
Stop beating around the bush. Just say it.
Most expensive thing they bought
The biggest amount of money your ex ever spent
spent
on
on
you.
me. Whew. Okay, yes, it was a particular outing, like we said. Okay, since I was with him, then it would be a date. That particular date, I could tell all the plugs or ports because of what it encompassed. I can't quite put the exact amount, but I know
Estimate.
it's definitely got 4 zeros.
Yo. Yo. Yeah. People are doing the most out there. 4 zeros
Was
for a date.
for a date.
And now your exes. Love is a beautiful thing until it's not. Um, but yeah. Now, one last question. This is not a part of the hot chick
Okay.
segment. How did that make you feel? Just estimating that someone is spending thousands. Because obviously, maybe it's not 1,000. Maybe it was two or three or even four. We don't know. But how did that make you feel? And is there something that you actually miss in the moment? Regardless of you working, mind you.
Okay. It made me feel very special. Like I was queen of the world in that moment.
Yeah,
Uh,
gentlemen spend money, they will feel like queens. But
and it made me feel like he could do no wrong in my eyes.
money plays a pivotal role, right?
It does make a difference.
No. Just say it as it is. Does money play a pivotal role in your relationship?
Money plays a pivotal role in everyone's relationship.
Okay. But yeah. Thank you so much for coming.
Thank you for having
Yeah.
me.
Hopefully we get the figures for therapy because I'm sure people are going to need, therapy. But above all, thank you so much for coming and
Thanks for
thank
having
you for
me.
sharing your story, your perspectives on love on its own. Um, as we sign out, yeah, shout out to Illuminate Multimedia for the safe space, for the portraits, for the canvases. And if you're in Gweru, we are located at shop number 26 by the center. Anything that has to do with printing, come and see us. But at the end of the day, love always wins. This is the Love Technician signing out. Peace, y'all.